Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach when a woman you care about suddenly questions your worth? It's not always in words. Sometimes it's in the way she rolls her eyes, ignores your message, or throws a casual challenge that leaves you doubting yourself. That feeling, that rush of unease, is no accident. What you need to understand is this: women test men, not because they're cruel, not because they want to break you, but because on a deeper level, they want to know if the man standing before them is solid or fragile, if he is real or a mask waiting to slip. Think about it. Every time a woman pushes back, it stirs something in you. It shakes your confidence, pokes at your ego, and forces you to react. That's where the truth comes out. Are you calm and centered, or do you crumble and lash out? These tests are never announced, and they never come when you expect them. They can be hidden in sarcasm, disguised as silence, or wrapped in a playful tease that cuts sharper than you admit. And here's the harsh truth: failing them doesn't just make her lose respect, it makes her feel unsafe with you. She can't explain it logically, but emotionally she feels the ground beneath her shake, and no woman wants to build her heart on shaky ground. You've been told your whole life to be nice, agreeable, and accommodating. But what happens when her test collides with that conditioning? You say what you think she wants to hear. You apologize when you've done nothing wrong. You fold under pressure just to keep the peace. And in that moment, she sees not a partner, but a boy wearing a man's clothes. She doesn't consciously plan these tests. They are instinctive, born from thousands of years of survival, when choosing the wrong man could mean danger or ruin. Her heart, her body, her very future depend on knowing if you are strong enough to handle storms or if you'll drown the first time the water rises. This is why tests matter, not because she enjoys them, but because they reveal what no words ever could. When a woman tests you, it is not about the words coming out of her mouth. It is about what those words reveal in you. Picture this. She says something dismissive, maybe a little sharp, something that pokes your pride. She is watching, not your answer, but your energy. Do you shrink? Do you get defensive, raising your voice to prove yourself? Or do you remain grounded, unshaken, steady like a rock in the middle of a storm? Because that is what she is seeking. Not a perfect man, not a flawless performance, but a presence she can lean into without fear of collapse. You see, every woman lives with unspoken fears. Will this man protect me or abandon me? Will he stay calm when life becomes heavy, or will he unravel at the first sign of resistance? Her tests are her way of finding answers without asking the questions out loud. And here's the reality most men don't want to hear. If you fail enough of these tests, she won't always leave immediately. But piece by piece, her attraction dissolves, respect erodes, the warmth in her eyes cools, and eventually she disconnects, not with a fight, but with silence, distance, and a heart that is no longer yours. But let me tell you what happens when you pass. Imagine she challenges you with sarcasm, expecting you to flinch. Instead, you smile, relaxed, maybe tease her back with lightness. She tries to provoke you with silence, and instead of begging for her attention, you continue with your life, calm, composed, letting her come back on her own. That moment transforms how she sees you, because deep inside she realizes this man cannot be manipulated. This man is not desperate for approval. This man has a center of gravity stronger than her moods, and that is what inspires trust. That is what awakens a woman's desire and keeps it alive long after the first spark has faded. The irony is that most men run from tests, resenting them, wishing they would disappear. But the men who grow, the men who win both respect and love, embrace them. They see each test not as a trap, but as a chance to prove, not to her, but to themselves, that they are unshakable. Let me give you a truth most men will never hear. A woman's tests are not about control, they are about survival. Deep in her psychology, she is wired to seek certainty in a world that often feels unsafe. When she pushes your buttons, she is not consciously plotting to frustrate you, her instincts are probing for cracks. Because if a man crumbles under small emotional pressure, how will he handle real life? What will he do when bills pile up, when family struggles appear, when temptation, loss, or failure strike? A woman wants to know before she invests her heart, her trust, her future. And those moments of testing are the closest glimpse she has into your deeper nature. Now here's where most men fail. They think a test is an attack. So they fight back with aggression or they fold into submission, desperate to make it stop. But both reactions reveal weakness. Anger shows you have no control over your emotions. Submission shows you fear losing her more than you value your own self-respect. Neither inspires the trust she is searching for. What does? Calmness, playfulness, a refusal to be pulled into drama, the ability to stand firm without becoming rigid, to remain light without being careless. That balance is magnetic. It says to her, without words, I am not here to be shaken. I am here to lead. Think about the men women talk about with admiration. It's rarely the ones who were endlessly agreeable. It's the ones who had a backbone, the ones who didn't crumble when tested, the ones who laughed in the face of pressure, not to dismiss her feelings, but to show they could carry weight without breaking. That is what inspires loyalty. That is what separates men who are tolerated from men who are desired. And here's the twist. Passing her tests is not really about her at all. It is about you mastering yourself. It is about you refusing to let anyone, woman, boss, friend, or stranger, dictate your sense of worth. When you embody that, women feel it. And tests become opportunities to display strength instead of moments of panic. That's when you stop fearing them and start using them to show who you really are. The real challenge is not recognizing that women test men. It's learning how to pass without turning cold or arrogant. Because let's be clear, women are not drawn to men who dismiss them, belittle them, or act superior. That only masks insecurity under a costume of pride. What she truly craves is a man who can stand firm while staying connected. A man who can hear her sharp words without flinching, but also without striking back. A man who can meet her storm with steady eyes, not to overpower her, but to remind her that he cannot be shaken. That is power. That is masculinity at its highest form. Not domination, but grounded leadership. Imagine she throws a sudden mood swing your way. One moment she's affectionate, the next she's distant. Most men panic. They flood her phone, demand explanations, beg for reassurance. But a man who passes her test does something different. He doesn't chase. He doesn't fold. He allows her the space to feel while continuing to move forward with his own life. He stays warm, but detached from the drama. That contrast, the combination of care and unshakable presence, is what flips a switch inside her. It tells her, this man will not lose himself, even when I lose balance. And that realization makes her feel safer than any sweet word ever could. But passing these tests requires inner work. If your identity depends on her approval, you will always fail. If you don't know your value, you will seek it in her reaction. That's why the first step is building your own foundation. Your purpose, your discipline, your standards. When you know who you are, no test can pull you off center. When you live with direction, her storms can swirl and still you stand, calm in your truth. That's the man who wins not just her attraction, but her respect. And here's something you may not expect. Women often don't even realize they are testing you. It happens instinctively. But whether she knows it or not, she feels the outcome deeply. Fail, and her trust fades. Pass, and she leans closer without even understanding why. This is the secret dynamic shaping every relationship, hidden beneath the surface. And the man who learns to embrace it never fears it again. Now let's cut deeper. The truth is, a woman's test is never really about her. It's about you. It's about the man staring back at himself in the mirror when no one else is watching. Because if you are unsure of who you are, every test will expose that. If you are insecure, if you fear abandonment, if you live for her approval, Those weaknesses will surface the moment she applies pressure. And that is why most men fail, not because women are too demanding, but because men have not built themselves strong enough to stand firm. Her test doesn't create weakness, it reveals it. So, here is the choice. You can resent her tests, blame her, call her difficult, and keep losing the very women you desire. Or you can use these moments as mirrors. You can face the discomfort, realize where you still crumble, and build yourself into a man who cannot be shaken. Because when you reach that place, something magical happens. The tests stop feeling like battles. They start feeling like opportunities to demonstrate your calm strength. They become moments where she leans in closer, her eyes softening, because deep down she knows. This man will not break when life gets hard. This man is safe to trust, safe to respect, safe to love. And understand this, the strongest men are not cold. They are not detached robots. The strongest men are warm, grounded, playful even, but never desperate. They can love deeply without losing themselves. They can stand firm without crushing others. They can pass every test not by trying harder, but by being unshakably themselves. That is who you must become if you want lasting respect, lasting attraction, lasting love. So ask yourself this right now. When was the last time you faced a test, and how did you respond? Did you rise with calm strength, or did you break under pressure? Share your answer in the comments because your story might help another man facing the same battle. And if this message hit you in the gut, if it opened your eyes to truths you've felt but never fully understood, make sure you like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with a brother, a friend, someone who needs to hear this today. Because this knowledge is not just about women, it is about becoming the man you were always meant